All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And of course, thanks for subscribing. We're back at it waiting for 11.4.2 or whatever the next variant is beyond 11.4.1. But we're taking it for one last drive. It's supposed to have gone to internal testing today and maybe comes to us the following day or tomorrow, right? So hopefully we'll get it then. We're just going to do one quick last drive here, talk about the great things, talk about some of the things that it's not doing so well, see how it fares in this different environment, different drive than we've done before. All right, so let's take a trip and see how it does. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Great conversation, great discussion about FSD and its ability to be transferred. I had my stance on the last video. You guys chime in with your opinions. Lots of great opinions. We can always agree to disagree. We don't always have to think about this. Think about things the same way. That's the great thing about a good discourse, is having that agreement and disagreement. At the end of the day, none of us are making the decision. Tesla has to make the decision. But as long as you do it respectfully in the comments, I'm happy to have the conversation. Happy to have the discussion about it. All right, good ideas out there about a transfer fee. Some people say that they should stop selling FSD altogether and just make it a subscription. That would kind of eliminate the need to have a transfer, so on and so forth. I think the only thing, give a little bit of a nudge here. It's a little hesitant here. A little bit of a nudge. There we go. The only thing I would say is just making sure that everybody frames it in the right frame of mind. A lot of people are trying to liken FSD as if it's like Windows or iOS, and it's not an operating system, right? It has its own version number. It runs inside of or as a part of the overall Tesla OS. So Tesla OS is something that's fixed to the, nobody stopping there, good job. Perceptive slowdown there. Thought the lady was going to take the walkway. But FSD runs as a sub app, if you will, or a separate app. And there's plenty of people, I don't know why people are saying there's no app that you can take with you. There's tons of apps on your phone that you buy a license to or you buy access to, and you can move it from phone to phone, device to device, even on computers, QuickBooks, Adobe. Those are all things you buy a license to, and you can use it on whatever device you need to. Windows and operating systems like iOS are ones that are fixed to the device, and you can't transfer from one device to the next. Okay, so that's my take on it. It's definitely an app that runs separately. That's why we can toggle it on and toggle it off at will for trials or whatever the case may be. So it's not a technical, oh my goodness, it's so complicated to get this to work. All right, so again, love the conversation. We'll leave it at that. See what Tesla winds up doing with it. Obviously, right now, I think they have the active quarter for transfers right now. So if you want to transfer, if you want to upgrade, now is a good time to do it, where you can transfer your FSD without an issue. All right, so let's talk about this 12. I keep saying 11. I don't know why. 12.4.1. Really, really good build. I can't overstate again, and I say this in every video, the different experience of having hands off, being able to just sort of navigate smoothly through without having to deal with the wheel nag. It's definitely a game changer. So far, my experience has been facial recognition or facial driver attentiveness, I should say, as a part of facial recognition. It's been working really, really well. I've had different people in the car, different complexions, different shades. It's done a great job where they test it out and see how it does, and it's been working pretty well. So I've not had any issues with complexion or shadows or anything like that. And that manhole cover is bubbling, and that looks a little bit nerve-wracking. I don't know if a truck just went over it, but it does not look safe. Person to the right, big truck coming on the left. Just trying to get out before the truck gets it, but the pedestrian's taking a long time. Go for it now. It's not going to go for it. Two trucks are coming, two big semis. Police officers are coming as well, or ambulance, I should say, coming from the left. I don't know where it's trying to go. See if it pulls over. It is not going to pull over, so I'll disengage. FSD did not pull over for ambulance, emergency vehicle. So I'll just leave it at that. We knew it wasn't going to do that. It still doesn't do that, which is, I don't want to say it's fine, but it's a known issue. It's not a new thing. I'll re-engage here. But yeah, it's been pretty good, this build. Again, just not having the hands-on is really a great thing, great feature. I want everybody to experience that, but I also want everybody to not experience some of the negative things. So while I want them to release it wide and come up with the next build to fix those, we definitely want them to make it the best version possible before they release it wider or to the masses, if you will. You guys definitely need to experience it, but you definitely don't need to have the slowdowns, the abrupt breakdowns, because now it's a different response time. Instead of having your hand here resting it, you may have it to your side like this, right? And if you're looking around, if you're looking on different angles of the road, it requires a different type of reaction, speed, and response. And again, as I mentioned before, as you get prepared to get this build or a build like this, you definitely want your foot hovering over the brake. That's going to be your emergency button. Don't try to grab the yoke of the wheel. Hit the brake, stop the car, and allow yourself to take over. Okay, anything it may or may not do can be stopped by stopping the car versus, trying to grab the wheel and do a counter maneuver. Except for obviously someone right on your heels and you hit the brake too hard. Be mindful of that, of course. But pretty solid. Still has its hiccups. Still has its issues. And again, it's all relative to the previous build. It's not, we're not just making up out of the blue. It is still a marvel. It is still a wonder. No one else is doing this. No one else has this technology on the road. So it's great in that regard. And I give it all the credit in the world for doing that. Pretty abrupt speed here. Switching lanes without signaling, not great. But it came up pretty quickly on that car. I just really wanted to go around it. And of course, for anyone new, this is 12.4. This doesn't require you to have your hands on the wheel. So people are asking, why aren't your hands on the wheel? Because it doesn't require that. It's focusing on my face and my attentiveness, my eyes, my attentiveness to the road. And that's going to be the measure of compliance for this build. Not liking this area. Pretty urban area, pretty messed up streets that a lot of trucks travel and therefore further damage the streets. So lots of potholes. Anything too bad, I will take over. And even when you have this build, when you guys get this build, don't be afraid to take over when you feel like the car is doing the wrong thing or you feel like a situation is about to happen that the car can't handle. Feel free to take over. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't feel weird. Don't feel odd because you have an intervention. It's just going to make the system better over time, and it's going to give you more confidence to know what the car can and cannot do. Let's see if I can make a lane change here. Don't like being behind this truck. I can't see what's coming up ahead of me. And again, for those asking, details are in the comments. Assertive Profile, auto offset is on, even though it's kind of broken. And that's kind of the mode that we're rolling on right now. And here's an example of that. 25, we're going 22, very slow. The car next to us is going faster. It's not going faster. Now we're in the wrong lane. It needs to get over. Still indecisive. This is one of the main problems. Oh my goodness, I'm getting sick. All right, so not good. And didn't signal at that, so very bad. Hit it. Can't flag it. Can't flag it. Flag it. All right. But very usable tech. I heard that the Xpeng, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, CEO came and test drove FSD. Fortunately and unfortunately, they were able to test FSD 12.3.6, which is still a really good build, but doesn't provide the wow factor that 12.4 provides. So hopefully it seems like he got some good positive feedback from that. It's probably going to look to, try to simulate some similar experience for his cars. Although I think they already use Mobileye for their cars, so I'm not sure what the plan is. But yeah, good to see other people using it, other car manufacturers getting ready to experience it, and hopefully we can all work together. We meaning Tesla and the Tesla ownership and all the communities of all the cars who favor this type of technology can work together to get proper regulations and approvals around this technology and get it to market, the mass market across overseas. Pretty bumpy roads here. love to see how this fares in UK roads. Would love to see how it fares in roads in India. Interesting little maneuver here. We're way further past the limit line than we should be. Kind of like crept up right by this car right here. And the limit line is back further because big trucks tend to turn and cut the turn a little tighter. So it kind of keeps the cars that are waiting out of harm's way. So hopefully we're not too far out in the danger zone, but definitely should have stopped at the limit line or even stopped behind this truck because it was kind of encroaching on the lane, as you can see it down there. One of the things I've mentioned before, and it's now becoming more apparent as you start to loosen the controls and allow more hands-free situations happening, is how you stay alert and learn to stay vigilant while not actively driving. That's going to be a challenge for a lot of people that choose to use this technology, is being able to master that, being able to effectively stay awake and stay alert. Good job not taking it. Hard on the brake, not great. But yeah, being able to, not fall asleep. If you are prone to falling asleep, if driving is the activity that keeps you awake, you probably don't want to use this when you're really, really tired or under duress, because you could effectively fall asleep. And the system will warn you, and the system will stop, and it'll do all the things it needs to do. But, we really got to be vigilant in that regard. So it's just a new way of thinking. So it's kind of like being a passenger, but requires a little bit more attentiveness than being a passenger, because obviously you can't play with your phone and take a nap and look out the window. So it's in between. It's not as active as driving, not as loose as being a full-on passenger. It's sort of in between. So something to consider if you're new to FSD, if you're new to this technology, if you're trying this version for the first time and that's been a problem, and holding the wheel for the nag has been the thing that kept you up before, be very mindful of this in this regard. Again, the system will warn you. If I close my eyes for too long, it will definitely beep at me and warn me for sure. But people in general will need to just adjust to that reality of just being awake and alert until we get the unsupervised version and we can sort of go in the back seat and take a nap. Person is still wandering, bus is turning. I'm gonna hold off and let the car do its thing because another pedestrian is coming. Don't go. Good job. Good job waiting. Could have forced the issue, didn't. Took his time, did the safer course of action. That's what we want to see from this all the time. Safest course of action all the time. Tight quarters. Person on bike. Good job visualizing the bike. If I can get a little bit of accelerator press here as it tries to maneuver around the bike. Good to go. I'm okay with accelerator presses. I don't consider those disengagements. That's just me wanting to move at a pace that the car is not moving for the sake of myself and the people around me. Nothing wrong with that. I don't count that as an engagement. I count that as an interaction, but that's just on my part, optional interaction. Or disengagement, I should say, not engagement. A little bit over the yellow on this one, but I think it kind of takes into consideration people like that opening their doors. So not terrible, but again, depending on where you are, that could cause problems. I don't know if police are by, they might flag you or give you a ticket or whatever the case may be, but it should definitely be a little bit more conscious of that. Now, this is what you might consider nitpicking, but I think, again, when you as the person watching this think about it, you might be only thinking about your place, your state, your region, your country. Other countries are different, and the behavior that the car does seems to be universal, like all the cars do it. So any other car in this area on this road would do the exact same thing. And so that's the problem. It's not just specific to this car. Interesting scenario. Bus lets us go. It's kind of hesitant. I'll give it some accelerator because the bike's on me. All right, go ahead. Just making sure it was going to turn in time, but good. Again, foot over the brake. Very cautious around about the bicyclists, if I can get it out. It doesn't like to overtake cyclists. I'm going to take over here just so I can be on my way. It doesn't like to overtake cyclists, which is great. You know, it's extra safe in that regard. But in this instance, I needed it to go a little faster so we can get to the end of the trip and the end of the video versus wait for this guy. And then the sign is flashing. It's going 30 something in a 25. Auto offset doing its thing or not doing its thing in certain regards. Green turn arrow. Don't know if I even have this on the whole time. Green turn arrow. And the camera's down the whole time. I apologize. Good job going over this bridge, controlling the speed, going downhill. More cyclists coming up. Again, just really, really extra careful around cyclists. However, there was that one cyclist trying to cross the road that it seemingly didn't care about. But again, I'll chalk that up to the inconsistent nature of 12.4.1. Good job staging the lane, nice and smooth. Nice. Little erratic. Again, 12.4.1 does things like that. That's the thing that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Is it going to try to go around? Is it going to try to get in the other lane? Assertive profile here. Again, pedestrian walking through, cyclist coming through. Don't know why he did that, but he did it. Now we can go. All right, I'm getting beeped at. Give a little accelerator press. Get into the correct lane. And now I can go. So things like that, you know, are sort of par for the course for 11.4.1 that we're hoping they resolve in 11.4.2 or whatever the next build is going to be. And I say that because it seems like 11.4.2 went to internal testing. If they find any issues that need to be addressed, they'll make those issues addressed in another build. So we might be getting 11.4.3 or 11.2.1 or whatever the case may be. Kind of thinking about going around. I don't like those maneuvers. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. Would love for it to just commit. Needs to be in the right lane. Slows down a little bit, tries to get over nicely here. That indecisive motion is just not good. It's not going to put us in a good position. Luckily, this guy wants to turn, so I'm going to get in here with him. Wow, crazy turn. Crazy drivers. And I'll resume here. So pretty aggressive area. This is more of an urban area. This is closer to New York, so it has a lot of the New York drivers, as you see the plates here. A lot more aggressive as we get closer and closer to the downtown area that we got to be mindful of. FSD can handle it, but again, some of the plaguing issues that it has become problematic in times like that, where it wants to wait, wants to be indecisive, and then we're in a weird situation. Luckily, that gentleman was making his illegal maneuver to make a U-turn from the far right lane of the road, which was insane. But that worked out for our advantage. But again, the car was going to be in a weird position if I didn't take over. It does visualize the bike lane. It is biasing more to the left on this street. I'm not sure why. Sometimes I feel like it sometimes biases a certain direction to get a better view of things when objects or cars are in its way. Just my theory. Probably not the right theory, but it just does weird things sometimes where it, again, just biases towards a certain direction when cars are in front of it, depending on the size or type of the car. kind of like a human would do when they try to peek around a car to see what's in front of it. Full stop, pedestrian crossing, creeping up. It's going to go for it. Random slowdown, plaguing 4.1, not good. Has the right of way, extra caution approaching the intersection just in case, all good. Hard on the brakes instead of using the regen, not good. This is where banish, the new summon feature, the opposite of summon, would be really handy in these areas where the parking is crazy, where they could just let you off and they can ride around the block and find a parking spot. That'd be great. Don't know how much I trust it though, to not come back and see that it sideswiped something or someone sideswiped it and did something. Not looking forward to those situations if that's the case. A little too aggressive. This is what I hope nobody experiences. None of you guys who don't have it experience. It's just that level of like aggressive braking. Trying to see what this person's going to be doing. Person and her child and somebody else going. Now it's going to go for it. Taking its time, and it can go. We give it a little accelerator just to get out of the way of the person that we're blocking. Tight street here. Lots of pedestrians here. So all the cameras need to come in handy, see everything, anticipate everything, and just be extra careful around the kids and the park and the people. It does a great job doing this. Not the most entertaining bit of driving, but it does a really good job of handling these scenarios. Extra caution around people. All right, we're at our destination. I am going to stop here because it might hit this pylon to end the video, and I would hate for that to be the case. Okay, good, it did. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm just joking. So we're at our destination. I'm going to find some parking myself. Let me know what you think about this drive. What do you think about this build? If you got it, what are you most looking forward to for the next iteration of this that you guys will hopefully be getting pretty soon, probably after this weekend, if all goes well with internal testing. Let me know in the comments. Again, let's talk about it. Let's agree. Let's disagree. Let's be respectful in the comments. Until the next time, enjoy your day. Enjoy your Tesla.